You probably spent the last week doing everything right. You worked a job you hate to pay for a house you barely afford in a city that is too loud. And the kicker? You do not even really own that home. Not the way your grandfather did. Try building a simple shed without a $500 permit, or painting your front door blue without an HOA Karens sending a certified letter. It is like the American dream became a subscription service where you pay for the privilege of being told what to do. But there are still pockets of this country where the 20th century never ended. We are talking about places where you can buy land for the price of a used truck and build what you want without a bureaucrat measuring your roofline. Now, a reality check. Low regulation is not the purge. State rules for septic and wells still apply, but outside the city limits, the red tape gets very thin. We found 10 hidden spots where you can finally be left alone, but each one comes with a catch. Number 10. Brewster County, Texas. This is the kind of place people move to when they are finally done asking for permission. Located in the Big Bend region of West Texas, Brewster is roughly the size of Connecticut, but it only has about 9,000 people. Outside the tiny city limits of Alpine, the county government basically assumes you are a grown adult who can figure out how to put a roof over your head. You want to live in a shipping container? Go for it. Want to build a cabin out of old tires and desert scrub? Nobody is coming to measure your roofline. You can find 20-acre plots of land out here for as low as $15,000 if you do not mind a lot of dust and some very suspicious rattlesnakes. The taxes are low, the population is sparse, and the nearest target is a 3-hour drive away, which is either a nightmare or a blessing depending on how much you like red carts. Picture this. You are sitting on a porch you built yourself, drinking coffee while the sun sets over the Cochise Mountains. There is no traffic, no hum of a nearby highway, and absolutely no cell service. It sounds like a dream until you realize the catch. Water is more precious than gold here. You will likely be hauling your own water in a 500-gallon tank on the back of a flatbed truck while the summer heat tries to melt the tires off your vehicle. If you forget to buy milk, you are looking at a half-day journey. It is a harsh, beautiful, and unforgiving landscape where the only person you have to answer to is yourself. But if you think the Texas heat is the only way to escape, our next stop is a high-altitude valley in Colorado where the wind never stops screaming. Number 9. Costilla County, Colorado. If you have ever spent a late night scrolling through cheap land listings on Zillow, you have definitely seen the San Luis Valley. It is famous in the off-grid community because you can pick up a 5-acre lot for about $5,000. For the price of a decent used golf cart, you can own a piece of the Rockies. For a long time, this was the Wild West of alternative building. Earthships, yurts, and tiny homes are everywhere. The county allows for a residential building permit that is surprisingly easy to get. But here is the strange local detail. They have actually started cracking down on people living in tents or RVs long-term because too many people showed up with a dream and zero plan. But if you are building a permanent structure, the lack of traditional zoning in the remote corners means you have a massive amount of wiggle room. The lifestyle here is about as rugged as it gets. You are at 8,000 feet of elevation. The winters are brutal and the wind will howl through your walls like a ghost. There is no grocery store around the corner. You are looking at a 45-minute drive to find a decent loaf of bread. The catch? The soil is basically sand and the water table is deep. A well here can cost you $30,000, which is 6 times what you paid for the land. Most people out here are hauling water and living on solar power. It is not for the faint of heart, but for someone who wants to stretch a social security check while looking at the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, it is a tempting gamble. Of course, if that mountain air feels a bit too thin for your lungs, the next spot on our list offers a much lower elevation with even fewer people watching your every move. Number 8. Hudspeth County, Texas. This is Brewster County's even more isolated and less popular cousin. If Brewster is the Wild West, Hudspeth is the surface of Mars. You are east of El Paso, in a landscape defined by salt flats and scrub brush. You can find 20-acre parcels here for $10,000, sometimes even less. People buy land here just to say they own a piece of Texas, but a few hardy souls actually move out here to disappear from the system. The county has virtually no zoning and no building codes in the unincorporated desert areas. You can build a fortress of solitude or a shack made of recycled pallets, and the building inspector will never even know you exist. Why? Because the county is so big and the staff is so small that they have bigger problems to deal with than your unpermitted porch. The strange detail here is the silence. It is so quiet you can hear your own heartbeat, which can be a little unsettling if you are used to the hum of a refrigerator. You are hours away from the nearest Walmart. Your neighbors are likely miles away and they probably moved there for the same reason you did, which means they won't be coming over to borrow a cup of sugar or talk about the weather. The catch here is the sheer hostility of the environment. There is no shade, no water, and no mercy. If your truck breaks down in July, you are in a survival situation within 20 minutes. It is a place for the extreme survivalist or the person who truly, deeply hates people. If that sounds a little too dry, the next place on our list puts you right in the middle of a forest, where the only thing thicker than the trees is the sense of privacy. Number 7. Sanders County, Montana. While the rest of Montana is becoming a playground for billionaires and tech moguls, Sanders County remains stubbornly old school. Located in the northwestern part of the state, this is the land of deep woods and big rivers. The prices have gone up lately because everyone wants to be a rancher now, but you can still find a decent acreage with a fixer-upper cabin for under $250,000. The real appeal here is the total lack of county-wide building codes. Outside of the small towns, you are responsible for your own safety. If you want to frame a house with logs you cut yourself, have at it. The local culture is fiercely independent. People here value their privacy more than their bank accounts. You will see a lot of old pickup trucks, a lot of wood smoke, and a lot of people who know exactly how to fix a generator in a snowstorm. The strange detail? This area is a magnet for people who are worried about the end of the world. There are more bunkers and secret pantries per capita here than almost anywhere else in the country. The catch is the winter. We are talking about feet of snow that can trap you in your driveway for days. If you are the kind of person who needs a plow to come by at 6 in the morning so you can get to your latte, do not move here. You are the plow. But for the right person, the morning smell of pine and the knowledge that no bureaucrat is coming to check your insulation is worth every shovel full of snow. Number 6. Iron County, Missouri. If you want to escape the coastal madness but do not want to live in a desert or a frozen forest, the Ozarks are calling your name. Iron County is a place where the hills are steep and the rules are thin. You can find small homes or plots of land for $60,000 that would cost 10 times that in Florida. The county does not have a formal building department for unincorporated areas. This means you can buy a piece of land, clear a spot for a trailer or a cabin, and start living your life without a stack of permits. The local culture is a mix of old-timers who have been there for generations and new-timers who are tired of being tracked by their smartphones. The lifestyle is all about the outdoors. Fishing, hunting, and minding your own business are the local pastimes. You are close enough to a Dollar General to get the basics, but far enough from the city to forget it exists. Be honest. Would you rather have no HOA and no Target, or keep the Target and keep the HOA letters? The catch here is the humidity. In the summer, the air feels like a warm, wet blanket, and the ticks will treat you like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Also, the job market is pretty much non-existent, so you better bring your own income or a very healthy savings account. It is a place where time slows down, which is great until you realize your internet speed has also slowed down to about 1998 levels. If you think the Ozarks are remote, wait until you see the next spot where the government actually lets you sign a paper to make them go away. Number 5. Cochise County, Arizona. Now this one is a bit different because they actually have an official program for people like us. It is called the Owner-Builder Opt-out. In certain parts of the county, if you are building a house for yourself and you own the land, you can literally sign a waiver that says you are opting out of the building codes. You are basically telling the government that you know the risks and you do not want them checking your work. It is a rare moment of bureaucratic honesty. You can buy 10 acres of high desert for around $20,000. The area around Douglas or Elfrida is wide open and incredibly cheap. The strange detail here is the history. You are in the land of Geronimo and Wyatt Earp. The ghost towns are real, and the desert is littered with old mines and ruins. Picture yourself living in a custom adobe house you built with your own hands, watching the monsoon storms roll across the valley floor. The catch is the border. Being so close to Mexico means you will see a lot of border patrol activity, and occasionally some unexpected visitors crossing your land. It adds an element of tension to an otherwise peaceful existence. But for a person who wants the legal right to build a cob house or a straw bale mansion without a fight, this is the gold standard. Of course, if you think a desert border town is intense, the next location is a place where the land is literally being reclaimed by the earth. Number 4. Potter County, Pennsylvania. They call this God's country, and for once the marketing is not lying. It is one of the darkest places on the East Coast, meaning the stars at night will actually make you dizzy. While Pennsylvania is generally a high-tax, high-regulation state, Potter County is the exception that proves the rule. Many of the townships here have no local building codes. If you want to put up a hunting camp or a permanent off-grid homestead, you often just need a sewage permit and you are basically good to go. You can find land here for about $4,000 an acre if you look in the right spots. The local vibe is very Pennsyltucky, a mix of rugged rural living and deep woods tradition. People here hunt, they farm, and they don't like being told what to do by people in Harrisburg. The catch? It is isolated. The nearest major hospital could be an hour and a half away. If you have a heart condition or a need for a specialty grocery store that sells organic kale, you are going to have a very bad time. But if you want to sit on a porch in total darkness, listening to the elk bugle in the distance while knowing your property taxes are some of the lowest in the region, this is your spot. It is a place where the 21st century feels like a distant rumor. But if you think this is quiet, the next town on our list is a place where the law of the land is replaced by the law of the desert. Number 3. Valencia County, New Mexico. Just south of Albuquerque, the terrain turns into a vast, empty expanse of mesas and hidden canyons. This is where you find those infamous 1-acre lots for $2,000. For years, developers sold these plots to people in the Midwest who thought they were buying a retirement paradise, only to find out there were no roads and no power lines. But for the modern escape artist, that is exactly the point. In the more remote parts of the county, the oversight is minimal to non-existent. You see a lot of creative architecture here, from earth berm homes to RVs parked permanently under massive solar arrays. The strange detail? The wind. It does not just blow here. It tries to sandblast your skin off for 3 months of the year. But the lifestyle is pure freedom. You can have a dozen dogs, a shooting range in your backyard, and a house that looks like a spaceship, and your neighbors will just wave as they drive by in their beat-up trucks. The catch is the grit. Everything you own will be covered in a fine layer of red dust forever. Your Amazon Prime packages might take a week to find you, and the local scenery looks like a Breaking Bad filming location. It is rough, it is raw, and it is incredibly cheap. But if you think New Mexico is the end of the line, wait until we look at a place where the government literally stopped trying. Number 2. Slab City, California. We cannot talk about places where no one checks what you build without mentioning the slabs. This is the last free place in America, or at least that is what the sign says. Located on the site of an abandoned World War II Marine barracks in the Imperial Valley, there is no grid, no running water, no sewers, and no trash pickup. But there are also no taxes and no building codes because nobody officially owns the land in a way that the state cares to enforce. People have built incredible, sprawling compounds out of trash, pallets, and old trailers. It is a post-apocalyptic art gallery where the residents range from survivalists to retirees who just ran out of money. The strange detail is Salvation Mountain, a giant hill of hay and adobe painted with religious messages that sits at the entrance. The lifestyle is pure anarchy, but a surprisingly polite version of it. Everyone is in the same boat, so there is a strange sense of community. The catch? It is 120 degrees in the summer, and the nearby Salton Sea is a literal toxic wasteland that smells like rotting fish. This is not a place for a hobbyist. This is a place for someone who has truly decided that society has nothing left to offer them. It is the ultimate leave-me-alone destination. But if Slab City is too loud for you, there is one place left that makes it look like a bustling metropolis. Number 1. Esmeralda County, Nevada. This is the least populated county in the state of Nevada, and you can feel it in your bones. There are more ghost towns here than actual towns. The population is so small that if you move here, you will probably double the size of the local choir. Because there are so few people, the county government is spread thin, and in the outlying areas, building codes are a suggestion at best. You can buy an old mining claim or a plot of desert for next to nothing. We are talking $5,000 for a piece of history. The strange detail is the silence. It is a heavy physical thing. You are in the Great Basin Desert, surrounded by jagged mountains and dry lake beds. You can build a house out of stone and timber and live like a 19th century prospector, and the only thing that will visit you is the occasional wild burro. The lifestyle is the definition of self-reliance. You better know how to fix your own solar panels and your own well pump, because the nearest repairman is in another county and he might not feel like driving out to see you. The catch? Loneliness. This isn't the kind of place where you go to meet people. This is the kind of place you go to forget you ever knew any. There is no nightlife, no shopping, and no distraction. It is just you, the desert, and the stars. In a world that is constantly screaming for your attention and your money, Esmeralda County offers something that has become the most expensive luxury in America: the absolute right to be forgotten. It is not for everyone, and it is definitely not easy. But for the man who is tired of the permits, the taxes, and the noise, it is the last place on the map where you can still build a life on your own terms. Out here, the silence is not empty. It is full of the kind of freedom that most people will never even have the courage to imagine.